Welcome to the Cake Therapy Podcast, a slice of joy and healing with your host, Dr. Altricia Foster. This is a heartwarming and uplifting space that celebrates the transformative power of baking therapy. The conversations will be a delightful blend of inspirational stories, expert insights, and practical baking tips. Each episode will take listeners on a journey of self-discovery, emotional healing, and connection through the therapeutic art of baking. There's something here for everyone, so lock in and let's get into it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cake Therapy Podcast, your slice of joy and healing. I'm your host, Dr. Altricia Foster, and this is the conversational space for the Cake Therapy Foundation, where we mix healing with the sweetness of human connection. And our mission is to create a space, a safe space for women and girls to heal through creativity, connection, and cake. If you haven't yet followed the Cake Therapy Foundation, do it now. And as you're doing that, you could also follow Sugar Spoon Desserts on all socials. The links are actually in the episode description here. We have an interesting guest. She's been here before, and we've invited her back to talk about what's new with her. And you'll understand why we've invited her back as the conversations progress. Today, we're having Porsha Kimble back on the podcast. I'm really honored that she said yes again, and I'm honored that she's back here. She's once known as to the world as your cake diva of PK Bakes. Her artistry, and she's still known as, people know her as the cake diva, but she's rebranded to just Porsha Kimble. Her artistry has lit up red carpet events, celebrity celebrations, and major TV stations. She's been on the stage. She is her. And I'm excited to have her with us. For those who are newer to the show, we first met Porsha Kimble in season 1, I believe episode 7, where she shared how baking became both a creative outlet for her and a lifeline as well. And it resonated with so many of us because that's what baking has become for us. She talked in that conversation about the memories that shaped her craft, how she built PK Bakes, and how her cake artistry helped her rebuild her life during a challenging season. As I mentioned, if you haven't listened to season 1, it's episode 7. The story's there. But today, like I mentioned before, that we're actually stepping into the next chapter of Porsha. And I'm excited to hear, what that next chapter is, even though I've been kind of following some of it online. But it's a chapter that is actually shaped by a dramatic health scare that actually was a wake-up call for her. A deep identity work has happened, and she has pivoted, and she's had the courage to pivot into a new purpose. Since we last spoke, though, Porsha has evolved far beyond the frosting. She's shifted what she used to do, where custom cakes, that creation from PK Bakes. She's created the PK Elixirs now, which is her signature flavor line for bakers. And she's launched Beyond the Frosting, which is a community empowering creative space for women entrepreneurs. This episode is all about reinvention, resilience, and purpose. I want to talk about how does one actually redefine success from the inside out? So Porsha, welcome back to the show. So how are you doing? Welcome back to the podcast, Porsha.
Hello. Thank you for having me back. It's always an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for saying yes. You just told me you're moving. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath on the second floor. But there became a 3-bedroom, 3-bath available on the first floor, and I needed an office because PK Elixirs is actually shipped out of the guest closet.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, I need something. So this happened to just pop up. So today 5 people came and did all the things, and so they're still going. So
yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about PK Elixir a little bit later.
Okay.
In our intro, I was telling our listeners how much you've evolved, since season 1, episode 7, when you were last here. And that's why I was super excited to have you, because you have shifted from doing custom cakes to creating PK Elixir, which is now your signature flavor line. And you've launched Beyond the Frosting.
Yes.
And to me, your story is so layered. Like, you're one of the most impressive women to me. How you pivot and how you do things and how you move. I watch and I see, and I love having you in my space. And I think this deeply, like who you are, deeply resonate with girls in the Cake Therapy Foundation and just girls worldwide. And like, I'm not like gassing you up or anything. I'm just telling you how it is for me. And I feel like sometimes we need to give people their flowers and let you know how important you are to them. So I know a little bit about your story because I follow Porsha. I cackle at Porsha's post, but there's some posts that you don't cackle about. And this was your health emergency. And being in the ICU and receiving your diagnosis, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, when my friend took me, she was actually taking the class. Mm-hmm. She took me to urgent care and they were like, you need to take her to ICU because she's too far gone. And I really was just having problems breathing. My skin had turned like a grayish purple. Mm-hmm. And I remember they took me in there and of course they're taking vitals and they said, your A1C is at 11.7 and your blood sugar is 671. And it was probably between 8 and 9 a.m. when this happened, closer to around 9 a.m. And I said, well, what time am I getting out of here? Because I got a class to do. Mm-hmm. And they said, you're not going anywhere anytime soon. And I was like, and that's when it clicked. Like, it took that to say that. Mm-hmm. I've never been to the hospital other than having a partial hysterectomy.
Yeah.
I've never had a surgery. I mean, that's the only thing I've ever had. I've never been to the hospital. I've never been to none of those things.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what? For somebody to tell me you have to stay here.
Yeah. You were sat.
And I was like, I told my friend, I said, give me my phone. I got to call Stella. And I told my mom, I said, I'm in ICU in Atlanta. And she was like, what? As any mother would. And I said, the next thing I said, do not come up here. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, do not come up here. The Atlanta airport is a beast. You'll get eaten alive. I'm only going to be here a few days. I promise you. Just do not come up here, if anything. And then I told my friend to tell my other friends. And then I just remember them wheeling me to ICU. And I was really warm and was put in a gown and went to sleep. And I think it was really when I woke up was the scary part. When I woke up, I looked at the clock and it said 2:21. And I said, God, what am I doing in here? What is this? I literally said, God, what am I doing in here? And what is this about? I could have cared less about my phone. I could care less about social media at that moment. It wasn't about anything, but I felt like in that moment, it was about me. Mm-hmm. I think people feel, or women feel, it's bragging when you say something is about me or it's portrayed as being selfish. No, this moment was supposed to sit me down.
Yeah.
This happened for me to wake up. For whatever was happening with me, I was ignoring, and I did. And my mother said, did you ever think to stop going? And I said, no.
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind to just stop. And my grandmother said something interesting. She said, you were doing all the things you were supposed to do, like you were hustling and doing what you're supposed to for your business. She was like, we could all see it. She said, but we all knew there was going to be a moment where you were going to have to stop. Yeah. Unfortunately, it had to be this to make you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. So we all saw it because you posted it like weeks after, because we know like sick Porsha is not going to be posting in the moment.
No.
So we were all stunned and we were all excited, that you were able to post after. That means you were recuperating. But let's talk a little bit about your diagnosis, right? What is like one of the first uncomfortable truths that you actually had to face about your lifestyle and your identity as Porsha Kimble, the cake diva?
When you hear diabetes and cake, I think people are like, but I think what people understand is it's just like if you work any type of food. Like when I was in college, I worked Mexican food. Once you get in there and you do that, you don't eat Mexican food like that anymore. So I think that the misconception is that we just eat cake all day. Like that wasn't the case. And I also feel like diabetes, people think it's for elderly or for overweight people.
Yeah.
And in this, I'm not just saying people, i.e. me. That's what I thought diabetes. I didn't know anything about it. So the hard truth came to, you're going to have to change what you eat.
Yeah.
That was hard because one, I'm not a snacker. Two, I don't snack. I don't drink Cokes. Like all of the things that I guess I thought people would make them be diabetic. I wasn't doing any of those things. What I was doing was traveling so much and eating bad, not exercising, all of those things that contribute, obviously. And I wasn't just slowing down.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking time for myself. And so that was the hard truth, was when the dietary lady came in and she was like, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I was like, okay, but if you tell me what to do, I'll do it. Clearly. So she told me what to do. And my best friend, Nikisha, flew back with me. Her husband is a diabetic. So when we got here to Dallas, we went to Walmart and she said, friend, I'm going to tell you what you can and can't eat. I'm going to help you read the labels.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
I know. Talk about having a best friend step in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the changes that you actually made after you went back to Dallas? After Nikisha walked you through the aisles of Walmart, like, what did you have to do? What's different?
It was hard because I never read labels. The dietary team said, and I know this sounds very aggressive, but it's true. They were like, you don't eat anything white. And my grandma said, not even white men. That's what my grandma said. Not even white men. So it was that. And I think it was about eating portions and so many times a day. That was the other big part, and eating breakfast. But the main thing was the movement. You've got to move your body at least 3 days a week for 20 minutes. And that was, that was a motivator, but it's scary. I've always pretty much been an athletic person. I was athletic when I was young. It's the effort.
Yeah.
That you have to give.
Tell me about it.
It's you. It's what to do. When the lady said, I'm not going to tell you anything that you don't know. We all know how to eat right. And I was like, yeah. You just have to do it. And I thought, I don't want to be back in the hospital. Like I don't want to be back here. So as soon as Nikisha left, I had a day to myself. And then Stella came in and changed it all. And that next morning she said, it was 6 a.m. She said, get up, we're going walking.
Okay. For your followers, supporters online, we've watched you walk into your healing, right? You did this daily. And I felt like, to me, as your body was actually healing, something new was brewing, because out of that, a lot of things were birthed. And I wanted to tap into what was brewing for you creatively as you were walking.
I felt like when I was out. So first, let me tell you, Porsha doesn't do outside. Yeah. Let me say that. Porsha does not go outside. Porsha did not do it. My mom would be like, let's go walk. And I'm like, I'm going outside. It's hot. Like that was it. And of course, this happened in the summertime. So I had to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock because here in Texas, it's 90, it's 100. You can't go, When I was walking, I just felt closer to God. I just felt like it was a time for me of self-reflection, and I've never given myself that time, of course, I pray in the morning, I pray at night, we do all the things.
Yeah.
But that time I really realized, like, this is for me. This is not to be walking, looking at my phone.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that. It really just felt like as I walked, things would come to me to realize, okay, this is what I can do. Okay, I can do this better. That's really what it was for me, what it turned into. Yeah.
I'm not like, on top of the timeline, but was PK Elixir birthed out of this, or did you grow?
I already had them.
Yeah.
I got them in, I started it in the summer of 2021.
Yeah.
And I think what it was walking. When you say birth, I think it was just the realization, one, I needed more adult interaction because I wasn't working. It was just me. And I thought, I'm losing that concept of socialization in working.
Okay.
Just some sort, I would have a good work ethic, but I think it was more like, what does the world look like at work? Because I hadn't worked for 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew, like, okay.
Work for anyone.
Right. I'm thinking, okay, I'm walking, but I'm here, like, I'm not shipping flavors all day, every day. I knew then I needed to be standing on my feet and all of that. And I would say that the idea of working at the mail center came to me then. And then once I kind of got comfortable at the mail center for a few months, I thought it's time to go back to work. And when I got to work, I would say that's when I realized, like, you know what? I can come out with new flavors because I can afford it now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I can afford more. So last year I came out with 7 new flavors.
Yes, girl. Yes. Yes, and did. And created beyond the frosting.
Yes, I just did this year in January. Yeah, it's a great group. It's a community. It's not a group, it's a community. Let me say it that way.
Yeah.
I think in that time, like when you're asking me what was I thinking, I think I thought to myself when I was in ICU, what happens if? That's where I was at.
Yeah.
What happens if I don't get better? What happens if I'm back here? What happens if I don't take care of myself? What happens? They were giving me the rundown of all the things that can happen. And I'm like, okay, I don't think we ever ask ourselves, what happens when we can't produce?
Yeah.
What happens to your customers? What happens to the projects that you said you would do?
Yeah.
What happens to your cake supplies? What happens if you can't move forward?
Yeah.
And I thought, there's got to be other women. I know women, I'm 45, but I know women 50 plus that own bakeries. And I'm like, I don't want to be working physically that hard. But what happens and what can happen if you just pivot a little bit? Who said that your business had to end? Maybe it could still be going without you working so hard.
Yes.
That's where I went with it. That's where my mind went with it when I was there. I was like, what the hell am I going to do if I can't work anymore?
Yeah. Well, you didn't just pivot. To me, it's like you didn't just pivot, Porsha. You actually expanded your impact into our creative community. You had the Brown Sugar Retreat that's touched so many lives, but then there's Beyond the Frosting now. Tell us. Go ahead.
It's a group for women, and it's for women who've been in it. Maybe, I'm not saying you have to stop making cakes, but maybe you're at a point where you feel stuck.
Yeah.
Maybe you're tired of, maybe you're in cake groups on Facebook, but you're like, I can't deal with another person asking how much a dozen cupcakes should be. Like, where is the group for the intermediate and up people? And that's what Beyond the Frosting is. Beyond the Frosting is for women who you don't need to ask a question about frosting and stacking a cake limit. We're past that.
Yeah.
The question is, how do I make my packaging better? How do I get these corporate clients? How do I sell myself without selling salesy? What's onboarding clients like? What is this? What is wholesale? What is vendoring instead of just putting linen on the table? Those are the things we talk about. And beyond that is, how do we take care of ourselves? How are we showing up? We had someone come and talk to us about SEOs. A lot of people didn't know what that was. We've got people talking about, AI is big and technology. I mean, not everyone is on the up and up with mini chat and all of the things. And so every month, it's not just a monthly meeting that I hold. I bring people in to talk about different things to help you expand your mindset about your business and about your family and yourself.
About yourself, yeah. I love that. And that's what I noticed when I was a part of the group. And, you know, checking in and reading the message boards. Oh my God, so much tea. Yeah. Good tea too, right? good information.
Yeah.
And when I think about Beyond the Frosting, Porsha, I think about the girls in our foundation who are actually pivoting. You know, these are girls who are pivoting themselves. And I want you to take some time to speak to these girls for a little bit. Send them a message around they're feeling like their stories have taken an unexpected turn and how to embrace the pivot instead of seeing it as fear or failure.
I think you have to look at it as a reset button, that you get to start all over. Mm-hmm. And I think that is scary for people because some of us do identify with whatever we do, but people can only receive you the way you put yourself out there. Some people are going to define you of where they put you at.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
But never look at having to restart. You're not having to start over. You're starting from a more experienced place. And it's like a new job.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been doing the job for all this time, but now you got a big raise, you got a better title because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you get to move forward. And I think that's the thing is, of course, anything unknown shouldn't be fearful. It should really be exciting because you don't know what road you get to go down. I mean, how exciting is that?
Yeah. No, I'm the queen of pivot, Porsha. Like I've traversed, vaccine science, public health, doing all of this work. And I always tell myself that, pivoting is really not failure. It's an invitation to do other things and explore other sides of yourself. And you've done that, and you've done that for girls. So we're going to pause a little bit to thank a few of our incredible partners of this podcast and who keep the Cake Therapy Foundation going. I want to thank Sugar Spoon Desserts, Project Diva International, Betty Crocker, Carson Family Foundation, Youth Prize, Strategic Health Partners, and Samuel Simmons Consultancy for their support of the Cake Therapy Foundation. We want to thank you all for helping us to make a difference in the lives of girls. Thank you so much. So let's back to our conversation. Porsha, I have to thank them for it.
Of course we do. And you better thank the people.
Yeah. And I thank our listeners.
Yes.
So let's talk about life on the other side, what it means to fully step into a new chapter for you. How do you define success now as a woman, an entrepreneur, and someone who has reinvented herself?
I think success is doing whatever you want, not having to be obligated. I think it's freedom. And freedom could be to do whatever you want to do. I mean, if that's what you want to tie yourself to. I feel really free, I guess. I think for me, I love cake decorating and I love baking. I love both. I did it for so long, but it got to the point where I was like, I like baking. I like doing it for my products, but I just don't want to do it for people anymore. But it wasn't just that. I could see the decline in the industry. So I just feel like setting myself free is really the successful part, and being able to share all my stories, because I ain't just a one-hit wonder. I got all types of things.
Yeah.
But for people to even want to hear it, because, it's so wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wild story. So
but you know what though? It keeps us. I love how authentic you are. I think that it's not wild. I love how authentic you are. Like I often find myself like I just have to open the gram and I see something from Porsha, and all I do is just laugh. And my husband is like, "What?" I'm like, "Porsha." It's Porsha, girl. Like you keep us on our toes, man.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your daily wellness. Like what is it that you do? What helps you, Porsha, stay grounded?
I would say I still walk. Walking is just a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing is, and this may sound really small to people, but this has become a big thing for me.
Yeah.
It was like just getting under my sink and seeing all the crap that I have. Like travel size stuff too. Like, when you go shopping, you get free stuff or whatever. I thought to me, it was like a treasure. I'm like, why am I buying all this stuff? I'm not traveling every weekend. Why am I not using the stuff that I have bought?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. To me, that was like part of my wellness. And I thought, I've got all this facial stuff. I've got all these candles. I've got all these clothes that I bought I've never worn. And I thought, that's wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Dipping into what you have. Clearly, you wanted to wear it at one point. Wear it. I also think getting outside, and I'm not talking about like going to the club or anything. I'm talking about just dressing up and going to lunch with your friends or lunch for yourself. I mean, feeling good. I think that we forget.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be invited to get dressed.
Okay. This floral jacket.
What the kids say, clock it?
Yeah.
But I mean, do you know, like, I went out in a white button down and jeans and some sandals. I had more people come up to me. Oh my God, I love your look. And I'm like, really? But I think it's a way that we forget that makeup and clothing and purses is a form of expressing ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Porsha, why do you give back so much?
No, tell all my business. My mom hates it so much. She's like, why do you have to tell everything? And I'm like, you know why? Because somebody else is going through it. And somebody may need to know how to navigate it. I feel like since I started in the cake business, I didn't have anybody. And I mean, Trisha, nobody helped me.
Mm.
I remember going to a cake event and this lady said, well, just message me on Facebook and I'll help you. And I said, okay. And then I asked questions and she was like, she said, you need to figure that out on your own. And I thought, okay, because at the time, and it's not a bragging thing, nobody was doing the things that I wanted to do. I couldn't get on Instagram. We didn't have that. Facebook, we didn't have the capabilities and the exposure that we do now. You had to figure it out. And I had to figure it out. And so I thought there's got to be other people trying to figure out whether it's being cheated on or bankruptcy or trying to figure something out. I just felt like, let me just ask.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just share because it may help somebody.
Yeah.
That's really the only reason that I share all the time.
Yeah. And I wasn't even like, well, sharing is part of it, but a baker can text you and you respond and help. Okay?
Yeah, and if I don't respond, it's like because I'm really in the trenches or something. Like I can't respond.
Mm-hmm.
But I will respond and I will pick up the phone or I will text you. You're going to get something from me.
Yeah. It is true. It is true. I don't recall a time I've ever texted you.
I think one time you text me and I couldn't respond.
Oh, is there?
Only once, I think. But that's it. But for the most part, I will respond.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. You showed up for me and I appreciate that. Yeah. So that's you pouring. I noticed that you're doing a lot of speaking engagements.
And now, Trisha, why are the people crazy wanting me to talk? I don't know why they ask. I'm honored, but I think it's wild that people either find me insightful or funny. I mean, I'm not going up there doing, I'm not doing comedy, but there's a lot of different things. And I think a lot of people could see they resonate with me in some way. I did an event a couple weeks ago and somebody went up there and they were like, I watch Porsha. She talks about bankruptcy and how she watches every coin. I'm like, absolutely. I mean, I think one, I think it's wild that anybody, and you know what's even, it's not cake events. I think that's what it is. So for me, it's different because I'm like, this isn't cake.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. It's actually about business or wellness. Most of it is about business. And I'm just really more than honored and privileged that anybody would even ask, because I feel like for a long time people just looked at me as the cake lady and then look at me as a business. And so it's refreshing to have somebody ask me.
Yeah. I love seeing you out there. Your fits are fitting. You look amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you. I feel like that's part of it. I take that very seriously. Representing myself and all of that. I don't think that was something when you teach a class, you're wearing jeans and a chef coat. You're not really, or like a business t-shirt.
Yeah.
You're not worried about that. But I feel like that's part of my brand and who I am. And I'm able to kind of open that up about myself that I never got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love seeing it. So what's next? What's next for you?
Let's see. I can't even believe I'm about to put this out here.
Put it out.
So I'm going to go through 2026 doing all the things I want to do because this is about me and seeing where it goes. But I keep thinking I need to have one more really big brown sugar cake retreat. Just number 10, one last big 10th.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just one big brown sugar, it's almost like a family reunion. Just one big last one.
I'm going to clip that, right?
In 2027, I am highly, highly considering having one here in Dallas. I'm not going to travel anywhere, but that's something that it's been put on my brain. I have not gotten the details. And I will say that's one thing I did learn in my rebirth is not rushing. Because I'll get an idea and I'm off to the races. But now I'm like, you know what?
Take your time.
I'm taking my time and I'm realizing some of the things that I thought were important when I hosted a class or an event is not as important to people that it was as to me.
Yeah. Why? Tell me the why.
I'm about details. And I think when people came to a retreat, they could tell by the details, like, this is Porsha. This is how Porsha likes things. And of course, you visually want everything and aesthetically to be amazing. Food is always a big factor. I used to travel months ahead of time before the retreat just to taste the food. That was a thing because I know people spend good money to come and food is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm who don't like to eat? Yeah. But I think this time would be a little bit different. It wouldn't be like before. And the times have changed and what people want to see. And so I think some of the things that I thought I had to have don't have to be had.
Yeah.
Going big, you want to because it's more money, but going big means more people, more responsibility.
Yeah.
And that's probably not the road I would go back down.
Okay, I see. Well, I look forward to I'm going to be announcing. We're going to clip that.
You say clock that.
Yeah,
Porsha said.
Yep. So we are going to just drag it out right there and put it out. Porsha said it's going to happen. I love that, Porsha. And, like I mentioned before, that I've never called you and you said no. You said one time.
You text me, I think I was busy, but I'm in a place of yes all the time. I don't really say no, to be honest.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Isn't that a part of your boundary setting?
Now I do say no to things that I don't want to do, but I think when it comes to community and helping other women, I'm always going to say yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it's at. I think when I did the brown sugar cake retreat, Carrie Vincent had a very long conversation with me when I asked her to do my very first one. And she said, yes, she said, I'm retired. I will come for you and I'm not going to charge you. And really, I thought that was a really big deal, that she didn't charge me. And Bronwyn Weber never charged me. Always said, I know you're going to make sure I'm going to stay in a nice place and I'm going to be taken care of, because that's who you are. You make sure people are taken care of.
Yeah.
So I always feel like that's the way I was blessed. I don't have a problem doing that for others.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows up. You show it daily. Yeah. You know, we can attest to that. You put it out there. Yeah. So, I am grateful for you for stopping by, for pouring your wisdom and your honesty in the conversation. Everything you shared actually reminds me that growth does take patience and compassion and time. And this is where it brings me to today's mindful moment. This is where I'm going to put on my best voice, Porsha, okay? Today's mindful moment is: just as dough needs time to rise, so do we. You need to allow yourself the space to grow. So if today's conversation actually resonate with you all, follow the Cake Therapy Foundation and Porsha Kimble on social media. She has a lot of followers, but she still needs to hear from you. Links will be in the episodes and in the episode description. Please grab a copy of my book, Cake Therapy: How Baking Changed My Life, and my second book, Lessons I Never Learned from My Father. Both of these you can find on Amazon. Until next time, I encourage you to be gentle with yourself and keep stirring love into everything you do. And please go get Porsha's Elixirs, the PK Elixirs. How many flavors do you have now, Porsha?
18 will be out in January. Number 18.
Oh my God, and I forgot to tell you my PK Elixir story. I'll share that in What Am I Baking? I have a story coming to you when I'm going to talk about PK Elixirs, how they impact and influence this new line. So thank you so much, Porsha, for coming.
So welcome. Anytime. The answer is yes.
Oh my God, girl. Let me tell you, I love you, okay? It's no cap.
You too. Thank you.
I love you, man. I love you. So thank you guys for listening to the Cake Therapy Podcast, your slice of joy and healing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming, Porsha.
Absolutely.
Don't hang up.
I'm not. I knew you were going to tell me something.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Cake Therapy Podcast. Your support means the world to us. Let us know what you thought about today's episode in the comment section. Remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And if you found the conversation helpful, please share it with a friend. Also, follow Sugar Spoon Desserts on all social media platforms. We invite you to support Cake Therapy and the work we do with our foundation by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description, or by visiting the Cake Therapy website and making a donation. All your support will go towards the Cake Therapy Foundation and the work we are doing to help women and girls. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.